Hey, how's it going? I'm gonna let you take a look at my signs before I start talking. There, that should do it. So, anyway, oh jeez. The other day, when I was meditating, before I was gonna do a video, I was looking at the sky, and usually what I'll see is a pyramid thing or some kind of, actually, it was, first it was DNA chains, and then I still see those off and on, and they show up just all over the place. Like, I'll look at like a knife, and it'll have like, on some part of it, a DNA chain will just be on there, and I'm like, okay. So, but anyway, pyramids, I would see them in the sky. And then, that was going on for quite a while, and then I noticed, recently, it was just a square. And it looks like maybe like this, it was shaved off the bottom of a pyramid. So, like, it's kind of, it's like in the sky, but it's, it's as if it's still, like, planted in the ground, like, the foundation is sunk, rather, but it's not flat. It's, like, up this way, but I still understand it to be that way. Anyway, I really just haven't really thought too much about why that is, any of it, but when I was, as I said, meditating, and I'm looking at the sky, and it was just blank, and I thought, oh, that's weird. There's usually something there. And, I don't know, like, I'm looking at it for a few more seconds, and then I see, like, a cross. Like, just a cross, not a crucifix. And I'm like, huh, that's weird. And then, later, in my last video, I was talking about, how, I always comment on, like, evangelists, and I'm like, I'm not one of those, but I have a certain thing in mind, and it's kind of not necessarily a Christian nationalist type Christian, but to the right, like, in that direction, like, not Baptist, not Catholic, not Quaker, not Mennonite, like somewhere in that area, not Mormon, pardon me. So, in that video, I talked a little bit about this, but I don't remember exactly what I said, but I realized between now and then that I'm like it kind of clicked in the last one while I was talking, but not completely. Like, it wasn't until after that this all kind of, like, settled into place, but I realized then that no matter it doesn't matter if I'm delivering it as religion, you know, it's not like this is like I don't even know if this still exists, but this is kind of the evangelist that I was talking about, the PTL club, like, that's not here. And PTL, if I remember correctly, is praise the Lord, or pray to the Lord. I think it's praise the Lord. So it used to be a TV, you could see it on television on Sundays, and then probably expanded to, like, like MTV. It just went 24/7, channels like that, back in LA where I grew up. So I'm, like, not doing that. I'm not. I kind of have cherry-picked my own area of interest because I feel like it applies to, like right now and the current job at hand. So, the shift is what I'm referring to. And so, in between now, in the last video, I realized, you know, it doesn't matter if I'm not PTL, you know, I'm still like talking about things that everyone, including me, know as a result of its connection to the Bible and religion. And so the Bible and religion are like intertwined, and you can't kind of refer to one without the other. But my thing that I always bring up is my reference point, and it is things that happened before the Bible and modern day religion. It's kind of fascinating to me that, you know, back then they could make a connection and know so well how today is going to happen. And by that I mean the Essenes and Jesus and the disciples, because Jesus went around and learned all of these like religious theologies. He went around the world. I guess his uncle was a sales guy. He was a salesman, businessman, and I guess they traveled by boat and whatever land, beast of burden, maybe cart, wagon, I don't know. I mean, I wasn't there to my knowledge. So, they are connected, you know. I mean, what came later kind of grew out in part. It's not everything is about them, but it grew out of them in that time, like what we have today to work with. And it's still like completely functional technology, you know. We are just not doing it, a lot of us. And that is what gets people coming from like a lot of directions kind of also evangelizing, you know, and some even proselytizing, which I don't know the difference actually between those two. I'm going to take a look. Hold on. Okay, real quick, here's what it says about evangelize. To share the Christian gospel, preach religious good news. When I was a kid in the 70s, people would walk up to you on the street, hippies kind of, or come to your door and ask if you had gotten the good news. So if you watch the Venture Brothers animated show, you will see that the Fishman superhero guy he's an evangelist, and he does go around. So that's and offer to give people the good news or ask them if they've heard, which is, God, that's so funny, because you could literally be walking down the street, like they didn't ask little kids. I was a kid then, like 8 to like 10 years old, but you could hear, like, you'd be walking down the street, like if you were downtown and there were like a lot of people coming and going. You know, they'd just be walking up and down the street, asking people and handing out their pamphlets and things. Sorry, didn't mean to get on a nostalgia trip. So, preaches the good news, preach the religious good news, or passionately try to persuade others to accept a specific belief, idea, or way of life. Well, I mean, I'm just trying to tell you what I've discovered and my fascination and what I'm doing. But if you hear something, or if I share something that's gonna help make things better, that's okay. I can accept that. So hold on, I'm gonna look up proselytize and see what that means. Very similar. Proselytize, to try to persuade someone to change their religious beliefs, political party, or way of living to match your own. That sounds more like what I'm doing. Although I would be happy if I said something, again, that... Is it going? Dang, I can't see. Yeah, it's going. Oh, speaking of not being able to see, if you've been watching for a while, you will know that half the time I can't see what I'm trying to look at. Like right now, with my new glasses prescription, I'm blurry. It's this far away. From my index fingertip to here, hi. It's like 2 feet. And I'm blurry. So, speaking of good news, have you heard the good news? I finally got an appointment made with the cataract center that I was referred to 2 years ago. The first referral, nothing happened for like a month, and I'm like, what's up with that? Because it was unusual. And then I saw my local, the first referral came from my oncologist, and then the second one came to my local eye doctor, optician, whatever, eye doctor. And so it's all here in town where I live. Sorry, I am still from LA, and I think to me this is a very small town. So that is why I'm going to refer to it as my small town, but everything's here. I'm here, my eye doctor is here, and then the cataract place is here. And I actually did go there one time, gosh, even longer ago than 2 years, like a lifetime ago. There may have still been a 19 in the date. And so I was using a ride service for like a medical patient thing that if you have like Medicaid or Medicare here, I think those are what allow you to use this service, and then that's what pays for it. So, and you have to schedule your ride. So I call up, they get me there, and then it was a late appointment, and then I was like done. So I told them when to come get me, okay? And no one was there, and I waited, and then the place closed. So I was there for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, hour and a half probably, waiting. And I didn't have a cell phone back then, and I didn't have money because no matter what they say about welfare queens, like, you gotta have a side hustle or 3 or 4 to have what they were talking about, which was designer clothes and a Cadillac. I'm old, okay? Cadillac cars used to be very cool, but anyway, I didn't have that. So the ride service didn't show up, and then the place closed, and I couldn't like go in and call and ask, although I think I did call and say, where's my pickup? And they're like, oh yeah, we'll send it, or we forgot it, or whatever happened. No one ended up coming. And so when the last person to leave, the last employee of this place was leaving, she's like, wait, you weren't just supposed to get a ride? And I said, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And she ended up giving me a ride to my house. And like I said, small town. She lived in the next one over, also very small. So like, I think I was one freeway exit from where she had to get off and go home, and mine. So, and the place was right in the middle, so it wasn't like that much of a hardship to take me, and I was really appreciative because it was getting cold and winter was real. Winter is still real here, like compared to Los Angeles. They do completely different things. At the very least, it's much colder where I am now. But today, I did get an appointment made. God, why did I tell you all of that? Are you bored to death yet? I got an appointment made today for an evaluation. And I'm like, can this take longer? Because get me a stick. I'm going to be walking around like a dolphin. Because I'm pretty soon, man, they better work fast. Because it seems to be advancing really quickly. after how long has it been since the last time I was supposed to go there? Or whatever, a couple of years. So, anyway, back to what I'm supposed to be talking about. Okay, so there's a lot of good reasons to, I think, talk about this, and it kind of makes sense for me to have gotten the bug to start talking about this kind of thing, because I don't have like a lifetime. I mean, I do have a lifetime of a background in like Catholicism. I don't like practice it like as far as going to church, or I don't even know what the rules are anymore, like what you're supposed to do and what's frowned on, because when I was a kid, again, for a long time you couldn't eat any flesh but fish on Fridays, and a lot of devout Catholics, I guess, still adhere to that. So yeah, the rules change, and I have not kept up. But what I remember keeps coming up. And then, as I've said many times before, it is interesting to me, probably for the same reason, to hear things that are like that have been forbidden. Like that's a particular interest to me, because the reason why I really don't truck with the church is because, well, the priests. Do you know about have you heard the bad news about the priests? That whole thing, like, boy, are they dishonest dealing with that. So, I mean, it's just hard to respect, and that is, I mean, I've had someone, like, several someones get way too familiar with me when I was a child, like adults and older, people, like kids, but not quite adults, and not, like, older kids, like teenagers and stuff, like even into, like, late teens. There was a variety, and, anyway, but the thing is I didn't get, like, snatched out of my location and disappeared to go have terrible stuff done to me. And I am not going to specify on what those things might be, because I would like to keep my little channel. But there are plenty of others which I have shared and will continue to share that go into these things far more deeply than I do. In fact, I was watching a doc channel on on this subject, and they were talking it was like a clip amalgamation show, and they had, like, interviews with Jim Caviezel and Mel Gibson and then a variety of other people, and talking about the movie that they made that Hollywood didn't want to promote and help at all. And it's not about Hollywood, but I guess it's based on true events. But it is about human trafficking, which, I mean, again, there are a lot of things that talk about it in much greater detail on my channel, but I guess I could list some names in the description box. Please forgive me if I forget. Okay, so that's another reason to be talking about what I talk about, but it's not so much about, like, everybody's got to repent for their sins and act a particular way, onward Christian soldier. Like, I feel like, for me, it's kind of all encapsulated to, can't we just be nice to each other for Christ's sake? Oh, I think that's a curse. Sorry about that. Whoops. But yeah, I mean, for one thing, there's a lot that is right in front of us that we elect not to see, that we choose not to find offensive, and to just be passively observing and absorbing kind of really horrible stuff. And if you are just sitting there and not, if you don't feel any, if you feel satisfaction and comfort watching things, like, there is a sorry, I'm not even gonna do that. I want to watch my mouth a little now, and I don't want to be characterizing stuff too much. Not watching things that just make me feel bad, or while I'm watching it, I feel myself leaning forward and my shoulders going up because I'm getting stressy and heart starting to race, and it's like, I don't want to see stuff that makes me feel that way. Like, I just don't. I don't even care what it is. And I think that, you know, I do watch things like that a little bit to get an idea of what's going on and what's being thrown at us, because I feel like you kind of have to know what you're up against in order to defend yourself effectively. And so, I got to plug this thing back in because it was pretty low on battery. And also, so yeah, there's a lot going on just like sort of right under our noses that's pretty horrible. And then most of us, if we loosened our grip on our, like, what we've decided, like, we get really stubborn about our beliefs and our convictions, and it's problematic when you are so determined about something that you're not directly linked to. Like, you don't know the people personally, you don't live in the area, it wasn't your business where it happened. Like, you don't have, like, a dog in that fight, except for caring about what happened and what happened to the people, however you feel, whichever. Like, it doesn't have to be these people versus the other people, but we do tend to do that. I think we'd like to choose sides. It's, you know, it's just so it makes us feel all regular, I guess. But once you start allowing yourself to see that there is something to be objecting about, like, you know how there's this saying that says don't meet your hero, or don't your favorite star or whatever. I have met quite a few of mine, and it is true. Like, you could very well be disappointed to, like, sorry, YouTube, but fuck that guy. Kind of after you meet them, and there is an element of, you don't know what that person has been going through that day, or what's happening in their life. So, you might have just interacted with them in a very mild way that you know, don't think you're being intrusive, but if you are well known, it is possibly intrusive to the point where you dread leaving your house because somebody might try to talk to you. And I'm laughing because it sounds like that's crazy, but it's really not, if you think about it. And so I can't speculate on why, or I guess on this sort of person that I just made up. I guess I can't speculate on why they might be feeling that way. And I always felt like if I had to compromise myself in ways that mentally affected me in a bad way to where I needed to like seek help or be like temporarily institutionalized for trauma, then, or hospitalized for trauma, then I don't want anything to do with that. I don't want to, like, that's awful. But then, if you learn that things like that are going on, and the person that you admire is one of those people that indulges, question mark, is coerced into, question mark, whatever else could possibly make you be in a situation that for me it sounds like I don't want to be a part of. So a lot of motivations get people there, and it might not be your own motivation is what I've been getting from the reporting. And then also, if you think about where in your own life where it might not have been to like quite the extreme, like when it happened to you, or maybe it was, but you have an idea of what this person is going through. Like, there can very well be something there that you can relate to in this person's experience. And so, I mean, I just think like our most basic places in our humanity are affected by things, and I am alarmed by the sounds like growing numbers of people that are happy to just be non-empathetic and literally robotic. But that's not me, and I guess and then I got these cards which came from somebody that I watch on YouTube, Kalina Malnar. Here, I'll show you the... Oh, jeez! Dang it! I'll show you the box that the cards came in so that you don't have to decipher... Sorry, I didn't mean to get loud. What I'm saying, because my allergies are terrible today, and I sound like I'm in a bucket. Oh my God, the last time I said that I had COVID. I hope that's not... Oh, God. So, anyway... These cards, and she channels, amongst other things. She's like a mystic and a psychic, and she knows how to do light language, and I believe she can do physical healing, and she channels messages from like the angelic realm and Mary Magdalene. And so these cards, again, that's like Catholicism of mine, like looping back and going, you like this, you can relate to this. Because she seemed like a good person, and not the way some people described her in the Bible. There's quite a bit of stuff that's not in there that does not talk about her that way at all. And it's kind of a lot. So anyway, these are the cards, and there is Mary Magdalene, and she was Jesus' favorite disciple, and that was because not because they were man and woman together, because she understood what he was saying the best, the teachings that he was trying to get across, and people weren't ready to hear that. I guess I'm ready to hear it because I see a lot of things like kind of going to hell, as they say, in American society. A lot of violence in the streets, in society, in language, and the way we treat each other, and what we're no longer being horrified and upset by. Am I about to get cut off? Real quick example, Max Miller, he's some kind of politician in Washington, and right now everyone's talking about uh, sort of violent things he said and did to his wife and I guess the child too. It's alleged, it is reporting, it's all over the news. I don't think I'm like making any kind of scoop here, but I'm just saying, I'm watching this take place and it doesn't seem like people are upset enough about it at all. In fact, another politician who's the guy's father-in-law is not losing his mind about this, and I think that's very strange, and I guess that's what comes when you just decide I am not going to be empathetic anymore, even if it's my own kin, and pow, that blows my mind. So I have 2 cards here from the Mary Magdalene deck, and even more and more, I feel like I'm preaching. I don't want to be preachy. Oh, hey, look it. Love who you want. Okay? I'm not against it. I'm not really against anybody or anything. Or, I'm only, like, stopping to make sure, is there anybody that I have something really against? And I don't really, I don't. I used to get like that, but it's like, I don't want to carry that around anymore. Like, I finally realized, like, oh wow, it's like great if you stop holding a grudge. Okay, so this card is the number 15. I'm just going to leave it at that to keep it shorter. And the card reads, "Thou that walk the path of love, walk their path as the Christed, or Christed, I don't know, I say Christed, essence of divine feminine and masculine in pure harmonic balance." So, when everybody's straight, everybody's got their attitudes in line and in check, and it's all love, and people want to be nice. It's like that's what I was talking about. It doesn't have to turn into all this other complicated stuff. I really kind of, at the most basic level, is, can we just be nice to each other and like kind of extrapolate from there and get nicer? Can we do that? That'd be really cool. Okay, so this card is number 10. Just that. There you go. Oh, jeez. Glare. Our greatest importance is to see the love of God within thyself, all others, and all things. How can you, like, be mean and hateful to something you adore? And there's so much to adore, I mean, I'll get all slutty with the adoration, I mean, I'm not getting it on people. I'm just, like, in the spirit of it, if I feel it's appropriate. And, I'm going to wrap up because I don't want to get cut off, but there is the thing of, like, finding out horrible things about people that you admire or think are beautiful or smart or great, philanthropists, or, like, they give their time to helping people in need. And so it is weird to find out that they're doing these other things that are counter to that, seemingly. But again, what is the motivation and what got them there? And the going back to basics is, okay, they did that, they did something that you like or you've loved for a long time. Find it in your heart to forgive them. That's like one of the other big Christ messages, is forgiveness. So I'm going to wrap it up here since I was kind of rambly. I don't want to get cut off. Thank you and good night.